My name's Josh Castiglione and this is Getting to Know Me. My local side, Cuffley FC. Grew up there, joined there probably when I was about 4. Played with them all the way through till 16, 17 years old. Probably all time, Thierry Henry. I think he's a lot of people's, but growing up being an Arsenal fan, obviously just at the time he was just on fire. Winning trophies, scoring goals, picking up individual accolades and giving my own team success. So yeah, he was probably the number one for me. Probably like a good memory was probably when Italy won the World Cup in 2006, because we hosted it at mine, and sort of back then I was more of an Italy fan than an England fan, which is roles reversed nowadays. But yeah, sort of all my cousins, all my family members come over. I remember obviously when we won the World Cup, we then ended up going into Hoddesdon, which is full of Italians, and sort of like we had a parade in the streets after we'd won the World Cup. So yeah, but even still, like I say, then I was 9 years old, so that it wouldn't have been the first, but probably good memory was probably that game, yeah. I remember you asking Kingy this, and I was thinking about it when you said you wanted me to come in it, and I was trying to think of who it was, and I had absolutely no idea. I used to go to Highbury quite a lot, but I couldn't tell you who I went to go and see. It's got to be England. It's got to be England. Like I say, sort of growing up, obviously Dad got me into football, but sort of even nowadays, like I don't really have that much association to Italy. Probably sounds pretty bad saying, to be honest with you, and I don't think he'll appreciate me saying it, but yeah, like I said, I've lived here all my life. Sort of like when the Euros are on, I was rooting for England, and obviously it's going to be the same for the World Cup, except the fact that obviously Italy aren't there. But yeah, it's got to be England for me. Russia Olympic away. It's probably a good 4 or 5 years ago now, and good side away. I remember second half late on, I picked it up in my own half, sort of running at the defender, knocked it round him, run the other way, keeper was sort of off his line, and I've chipped him from about 25, 30 yards out. So yeah, that's got to be number one. Most memorable's very easy. When I played against Arsenal in the FA Youth Cup. I believe it was the 5th round proper. It was for Royston under-18s. We'd come through 6 or 7 rounds to get there, and obviously being a boyhood Arsenal fan, it was sort of like a dream come true as such, thinking that I was going to play at the Emirates because it was away, but for some reason the big boys don't play their home games in the FA Youth Cup until the quarterfinals, which was the next round. But yeah, most memorable's got to be Arsenal in the Youth Cup. Got to be The Watcher. I think it's quite a popular one recently, and it was a good series, but a bit of a disappointing ending, to be honest.
What is The Watcher? I know that.
It's basically about this family that move to this house that's basically very haunted, and it's based on a true story, and apparently still to this day they don't know who it was that was sending them letters saying that they're being watched and blah blah blah. I won't go into too much detail just in case people are watching this and watching The Watcher. one thing I will do once I'm out on the pitch, once we get into the line, before we go and shake hands, you'll notice it, I'll sort of like squat down and jump up. And then once we've shook hands, I'll do like a little shimmy with a sprint. That's once I'm out on the pitch. Other than that, I don't really have too many others. I may pack my bag in the same way, sort of same order with certain things on top of each other, but...
You started by saying I don't have many.
Well, yeah, to be fair, all right, those three. I'll leave it at those three, just in case any more pop into my head.
You've probably got a whole list, don't you? You probably go away from it.
No, I am very OCD. I am very OCD with a lot of things. But, actually, no, there is one, and the boys can vouch for me for this. In the warm-up lines, all the lads will turn the same way at the same time. If I'm at the front of the line, I'll always go in the middle line, and every turn I'll go right then left, so I'll always alternate it. And Corey Roberts absolutely hates me for every warm-up. I'm a football coach at Oaklands College, trying to teach people to become the player that I failed to become. 100%. Obviously, a lot of you will know Gus that was here last year. Him, myself, and another mate of ours, Harry Smart. We're all very ambitious, and we've all spoken about it. Us three sort of going into management together. Who would be the actual manager and who would be the two assistants behind it. We've had a lot of conversations about it, but yeah, no, definitely once I retire playing, there's definitely an avenue I want to go down. The way I like to play football, it's very much sort of total football. So it's got to be coaches that like to implement their ways like that, like your Guardiolas. And probably more recently that he's giving my club a little bit more of excitement, even Arteta, someone that wouldn't necessarily say I look up to him, but admire what he's doing right now with the crop of players that he's got, and obviously going back a few years, Guardiola and Wenger. I was going to say sort of something that may require a lot of physical attributes. I was probably going to put Kyle's name in there, but if you ask Kyle to eat a kangaroo's doodah, I don't reckon he'll have it inside him to do it. Who would I put forward for that? Josh Leland probably. If you ask me why, I don't really have an answer. But he was probably the second name that sprung to my head to get a 10 stars on the old eating challenge on I'm a Celeb. When I joined, I think I sung Let Me Love You. But I remember me and Coley were going to sing the same song. And obviously when we was up in Newcastle at the time, we were sort of discussing it, and he was like, I'm going first. And I was like, what are you singing? And then he said the same song. It was either Closer or Let Me Love You. I can't remember which of the two it was, but whichever one it was, I then ended up singing the other one because he went first and you couldn't sing the same song as someone else. So either one of those two or Bruno Mars song.
Are you a good singer?
Nah, I'm better at football than I'm singing.
Fair enough. Don't want to give us just a little bit.
I know you've tried to get Kingy to do this, and
yeah, just someone might actually just give us some content.
Nah. Give me a microphone and a couple of drinks, then, and I'm all for it. But pre-training, probably not.
We'd arrange that.
Probably Super Mario. Don't really need a tash, I've already got it. Fans here that do travel up and down the country week in, week out on Tuesday nights, like it's a good buzz. It's a good buzz, like I say, it's obviously a great buzz for them when we put on a good performance and get a victory for them. But yeah, like you say, I know it is cliche, but they do really give you a push, especially obviously here at home where you do get more of them. They do give you that push, sort of like even go back to Tuesday night, sort of when we were 2-0 up, sort of threw away a lead, and then it was like, right, we've got to get ourselves going, and sort of throwing away a 2-0 lead is not necessarily easy, but the fans that are constantly singing either individual names or just constant songs associated with the club. They are a very good set of fans, and I've got to give credit to them where it's due, to be honest with you. In this league, there's a lot of lads that have dropped down from higher leagues to come and play at Conference South, either coming towards the end of their career, or they've got another job that works well with football and they can't commit to full-time football, or whatever it may be. But sort of I'm someone that's come the other way, come from a lower league coming up to this level, and like I say, you do play against some fantastic players. But no, I'm really enjoying it. Obviously, last season, at the start of the season, it was difficult to sort of cement myself with a starting spot, but sort of once I got my opportunity given to me by Mark when he come in after a month or so, then yeah, sort of since then it's been really enjoyable. And sort of last season, in terms of goals wise, there wasn't too many, there was none, but sort of this season with goals and assists, sort of like really feel like helping the team to try and get us as high up the league table as possible. Everything. Yeah, football is everything. And if you know me, like you say, I coach football, I play football. Sort of when I'm not doing either of the two, I'm watching football. And I know that wasn't one word, but if you want the one word, yeah, football is everything. That's just not even a question. Do you want my honest opinion?
Whoa. I don't know, you might disagree.
Oh, he's better at football than me, but he's not better looking than me. It's just a silly question, Dan, if I'm honest. I'm a bit disappointed you've actually asked me that. Well, that's a bit stereotypical from you, isn't it? We don't know him off by heart.